Right now at noon, the latest on child remains recovered in rural Oklahoma.
It's still raining outside. Roads are still wet. There might even still be a rumble of thunder or two, but the rain will exit and temperatures will cool down. We'll talk about all that coming up.
And the latest water crisis after a small town in Arizona loses its only reliable source.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Child remains are found in Oklahoma amid the ongoing search for Athena Brownfield. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Tapping our first 7 minutes, new aerial footage revealing the location of the remains. Now, these are images from our sister station KOTV in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation says it recovered the remains of a child in Grady County, but it is not yet confirming the remains are that of Athena Brownfield. Now, the remains were found in a rural area near Rush Springs. They've been taken to the state medical examiner's office for identification. OSBI says this is an active homicide investigation until examiners identify the remains. And news comes as court documents show one of the caretakers of Athena claims she witnessed the child's murder. Alyssa Adams is facing charges of 2 counts of child neglect. Ivan Adams faces 1 count of first-degree murder and 1 count of child neglect. According to the affidavit, Alyssa told OSBI agents on Christmas around midnight, Ivan severely beat Athena and then left with Athena's body. When he returned, Ivan allegedly told Alyssa he had buried Athena near their old home in Rush Springs, Oklahoma. You can read more from the arrest affidavit on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. With today's rains also comes cooler temps. Chris Warner joins us with a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, the rain is keeping things a little bit on the cool side. Now, once it starts to clear, believe it or not, we're going to warm up just a little bit once we see some sunshine. Got some light rain at 7th and Range Line, still staying cloudy. We've got light rain, cloudy skies on the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Range Line. And as you can see, this is why we still have a few showers and some moderate pockets of rain out there. A rumble of thunder or two is still possible, but for the most part, we're just dealing with rain. We take a wider view here. You can see where this has just been rolling through the area all morning long. Now, off to our southeast, they're actually dealing with more severe weather. They've got a tornado watch. They've had multiple different tornado warnings. So far, no confirmed tornadoes down there, but they are getting the severe side of this as we go through today. As for our temperatures, we made it up to 60 yesterday, starting the day at 38. And as you can see, like we've mentioned, we are flirting with records and we're well above average on both counts here. Temperatures across the region, we're still on the southerly breeze side of this thing. So we have 50 in Pittsburgh, 44 Iola, 53 Chitopa, 51 Miami, 52 Neosho and Joplin. However, as we go into the evening, that's going to change. So we're looking at a high of about 54. Any remaining showers and thunderstorms should clear out by about 2 o'clock or so, perhaps 3. We'll be left with mostly clear skies and a southwest breeze gusting upwards of 25. We'll talk about when the temperatures are going to fall and how low they're going to go here in just a few minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Biden and the House GOP refuse to budge as a key debt ceiling deadline looms. Tomorrow's deadline comes without even a hint of an endgame, ensuring a months-long standoff that's poised to rattle financial markets amid worries about a recession this year. Last week, the Treasury Department warned the country will hit $31.4 trillion borrowing cap on Thursday, though the government can still use extraordinary measures to pay bills for another few months. But it means the potential economic doomsday clock is officially ticking, with House Republicans still insisting on massive spending cuts before they help raise the debt ceiling and Democrats refusing to engage the idea. Well, crisis develops in a small town in Arizona that just lost its only reliable source of water. More than 1,000 residents of Rio Verde foothills had gotten their water from the nearby city of Scottsdale, but that supply has now been cut off. Chris Van Cleve shows us how people are struggling to find a solution.
In Rio Verde foothills, people paid to haul water from the city of Scottsdale into their community for more than 30 years. But now,
we're just using our buckets from the garage right now and collecting the rainwater.
Folks like Karen Nabity are desperately searching for alternatives.
I'm using rainwater in here to even wash my hands with, to rinse dishes with. for flushing the toilets.
While Rio Verde neighbors Scottsdale, it is an unincorporated community, so it's not connected to the city's water utility, and its residents do not figure into the population count for the city's water supply. So starting January 1st, Scottsdale stopped allowing its water to be transported beyond city limits, turning off the spigot to Rio Verde foothills.
My community is beautiful. It's the most special place in Arizona. And if it doesn't have water for the people that live there, it's going to die.
Last week, Rio Verde residents packed Scottsdale's city council meeting to protest the new water restriction. Dozens also filed a lawsuit against the city, arguing the policy would cause immediate and irreparable harm, and asking the court for a permanent stay against the move.
It really was not reasonable for them to expect that they had a forever supply.
Scottsdale's going to look like the big, mean city that's cutting these people off from water, but they have their own citizens who need that water as well.
Exactly.
Water policy expert Sarah Porter tells CBS Mornings Rio Verde residents will likely have to turn to other costlier water sources or build infrastructure of their own. One potential provider, Canadian-based utility Epcor, has said it's willing to help, but it'll need at least 2 years to get up and running. Porter called the situation a cautionary tale.
Even though there won't be a lot of Rio Verdes, it is a signal that cities are paying more attention to how they take care of the water supplies that they have in hand.
A sentiment echoed by Scottsdale Mayor David Ortega, who spoke with Brooke Silva Braga for CBS Saturday Morning last November.
Why not just let those few people keep the water for a little longer?
They should manage their own destiny with their own water.
Yeah.
We have to adapt, and then we have to adapt more, and we have to adapt more.
Chris Van Cleve, CBS News.
Well, a helicopter crash in Ukraine this morning killed at least 16 people, including one of Ukraine's top cabinet officials. The chopper went down at a kindergarten just outside of Kyiv. Authorities say the death toll includes 3 children as well as 25 people injured. The country's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, said, quote, "The pain is unspeakable." The cause of the crash has not been revealed. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, the latest on a nationwide push to bring back free school lunches. And later, we're making chicken and wild rice soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. As Americans look for new ways to cope with a bumpy economy, schools nationwide are racking up debt to feed hungry students. The median district has more than $5,000 in lunch debt. Meg Oliver reports.
Here you go. What are you getting, cutie?
At Makefield Elementary, Afifa Benjamin serves up cheeseburgers, sweet peas, and
Hot dogs and bologna, hanging with my...
a few lyrics for the lunch crowd.
These kids are family to me.
The Pennsbury School District in Yardley, Pennsylvania has more than 9,000 students. 30% qualify for free or reduced school meals.
Are kids coming through this lunch line with trays full of food and no money in their account?
Yep. The federal waivers providing free school lunches nationwide during the pandemic expired in September.
You guys want cheese?
A new study shows school meal programs are at risk with rising costs and supply chain issues.
How high is your student lunch debt?
At the moment, it's $65,000.
Why is it so high?
I think families are having to decide whether they are going to pay their electric bill or pay for their students to eat meals.
Kimberly Steffi is the Director of Financial Services for the district. They're fortunate to have private donors pay their debt, allowing them to continue providing breakfast and lunch to every student, even if they can't afford it.
If you're a district that doesn't have these great donations coming in, what happens?
Those districts will have to take resources from their general fund to pay for the debt.
Nationwide, student lunch debt tops $19 million. Some districts are so desperate they've resorted to lunch shaming in the past, offering kids a cold sandwich instead of a hot meal or banning them from school events if they carry a balance. Lori Atkins is president of the School Nutrition Association, who's urging Congress to permanently pass free school meals for every student.
We're really concerned about making sure that all hungry kids have access to food during the school day.
The current federal program pays schools back for each student meal served based on income levels. As part of a bipartisan bill last summer, Congress raised the reimbursement rate by 40 cents for lunch, but the program is set to expire in June.
Do you think Congress realizes how many students go hungry every day?
No. Somebody needs to let them know.
What's your message to them?
Every kid needs to get fed.
Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
According to the USDA, more than 9 million children in America are food insecure, and the past few years has only pushed that number higher. Recent efforts for a more permanent solution appear to be stalled in Congress, and the latest proposal doesn't go back to paying for all student meals. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Some say chicken soup cures whatever ails you, and it just might. Everything from the sniffles to a hungry belly.
But first, we've still got some showers. We still have some thunderstorms out there, but they will be on their way out, and they're going to leave an unpleasant surprise behind. We'll talk about all that coming up. Well, for a good number of us, it is still raining so far, and it will continue to do so for the next 2 hours, perhaps 3, depending on where you are out there. 7th and Range line, you can see it's wet. The camera's wet. It is cloudy, and that is all because it is raining. Well, it's not cloudy because it's raining. It can do that without rain. But the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Range line shows you the same thing. Wet highways, cloudy skies, some rain falling. So, of course, that said, watch out. Roads are slick. Take your time getting where you're going. Just watch out for those wet spots. You don't want to hydroplane or anything like that. You can see the rain continues to stretch across the area. If you're out to the west, though, you're starting to get out of all of this activity, and it will continue to roll on off to the northeast and move on out. And up to our north, they have been dealing with snow. They've got winter storm warnings. Take a look at all this snow in Nebraska. It's just absolutely crazy. And then we drag this off to our south and east, and they're dealing with this tornado watch. They've had various tornado warnings throughout the morning and into the afternoon now. Thankfully, so far, no confirmed tornadoes, but you see the different red boxes pop up. We just happen to luck out here in the middle and just get stuck with some standard rain and some thunderstorms. In fact, on average, we've seen about 7/10 of an inch of rain, but you can see in the darker green, that's anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain, 1 to 2 inches of much needed rain across the area at that. We're up to 52 in Joplin right now. West breeze at 17, starting to gust now, up to 26, and it will continue to be gusty like that as we head through the rest of the afternoon and evening hours. We have 44 Iola, 50 Chinook, 53 Chetopa, 51 Miami, 52 in Neosho, and 51 in Carthage right now. And you can see where some of the winds are beginning to shift around out there, and that will continue to trend that way as we head into tonight, and that's going to lead to the start of some big changes in our temperatures. We're looking for a high of about 54. Now, if we get a little more sunshine out there, we might go a little bit above that, but on average, we're talking about just reaching the mid-50s. We have the showers and thunderstorms through 2, maybe 3 o'clock. They will finally clear out. They will leave us with mostly clear skies and breezy conditions. If you're planning an evening out, it's going to be a bit windy, so average wind speeds aren't that bad. It's those gusts that'll get you. Down to 48 by 7, 47 by 8, 46 at 9, 45 at 10 and 11. And as you can see, we will be mostly clear. Now, heading through the rest of the night, we will eventually get on the backside of this system as we head into the overnight. And as we do, the winds will shift out of the north, and that will usher in much colder air. And honestly, it's much more seasonable air. And we'll drop back down to 32. And believe it or not, that 32 is still above average for our low, but it's a lot closer. After this rolls on through, we're going to get chilly. We're going to get seasonable. It's just going to feel absolutely cold and frigid out there because it's been so warm. Then we head into Saturday, our next chance of any kind of precipitation. Most of it will be rain, but as we head into the overnight and temperatures begin to fall, the changeover to some light snow, maybe a wintry mix, is not impossible. Now let's take a look at the 7-day. So we're going to be pretty decent tomorrow and Fridays. We're in the 40s. The evening rain chances, possibly a light wintry mix by Sunday. We're not anticipating any significant accumulations with any of this, but it could still lead to several slick spots, so be cautious if you're traveling Sunday morning. And then we get into Monday, we clear out again, 46 up to 52 by Tuesday, and then we watch another system bringing us the chance of some evening showers by Tuesday night. So plenty of rain chances over the next few days, and as we've mentioned, it is rain that we absolutely need because our drought situation is improving. We still have a long way to go to get back to somewhat normal precipitation levels. So any rain we can get, we need.
And it has been raining today.
It certainly has. Again, much needed rainfall today. It's been a pretty good blessing, and we've lucked out in the sense that rain we're getting has been intermittent. We're not looking at just continuous downpours and flooding and things of that nature. So we're doing all right.
All right, thanks, Chris. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Airman Second Class Tony Harris in the U.S. Air Force. The Joplin native joined the 774th Troop Carrier Squadron in Vietnam from 1966 to 1967. He flew on a C-130 cargo plane as a loadmaster, earning both the Air Medal and the Vietnam Service Medal. To Tony Harris, we thank you, our four-state hero. Well, there's nothing more cozy than a big bowl of soup, and today Howard shows us how to make one of his favorite warm-you-up soups that's full of flavor in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
When it comes to foods that we crave, nothing is as welcoming as a big bowl of soup. And when that soup is chicken soup, all the better. So let me share with you a recipe that's a warm-you-up favorite, as well as a way to help you get rid of the winter blues. We start by placing a whole chicken that's been cut into quarters into a large soup pot, along with some cut-up carrots, celery, and onions. Then we add some water. Yes, this is going to make a big pot of soup. But don't worry, because it freezes great. For the part that gives this all its flavor, we add some salt, pepper, and a couple of spoonfuls of chicken base. And if you're not familiar with chicken base, it's a super rich take on bouillon that is, let's say, spoonable. And you can find this in the soup aisle. After this comes to a boil, we'll turn it down and let it simmer until the chicken is fall apart tender. After we remove the bones from the chicken, we chunk it up and back into the soup it goes, along with some wild rice. That's all there is to it. What we end up with is a big pot of soup that is packed with so much goodness, it's practically a meal by itself. To get this easy recipe, all you have to do is go to our website and look for chicken and wild rice soup. I know you'll be glad you did. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a warm and cozy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Here's a look at our four-state market prices.
Your favorite party place, Indigo Sky Casino, your good times headquarters. Fridays in January from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Play for you.
All right, showers and thunderstorms clearing out by about 2, 3 o'clock. We could be a little bit warmer if we see a little more sunshine today. And then we get on the backside of this thing, makes us colder but seasonable as we drop back through the 40s all the way through Monday. Maybe some Saturday evening showers leading to a light wintry mix Sunday morning. 46 Monday, 52 next Tuesday with some evening showers then as well.
All right, what do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, the entire country watched a life saved on Monday Night Football earlier this month as crews administered CPR and used an AED to resuscitate Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin. Now people all around the country are signing up for training to learn how they can respond in an emergency. Plus, we're going to hear from a Grove, Oklahoma football player who was named Gatorade Player of the Year, but that's not the most impressive thing this young man's accomplished. And the city of Carthage is adding a sales tax question on the April ballot concerning recreational marijuana. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
Okay, thank you, Down. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.